there's this thing that atheists do when they're talking about Christians of old, where they'll say, well, why didn't you solve women's rights? Why didn't you solve slavery? Why did you allow these things to continue under your, influence or whatever? Why didn't they stop that from happening? I don't even necessarily want to make this about that, but it does feel like there is a point at which people can almost expect too much from humans or humanity in the way of growth or progress. I don't think that people have an infinite capacity for growth or change. I don't think people have a capacity for an infinite rate of change or growth. There's this saying that goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think there's a pretty solid theory behind this, in that it feels like where you're born, the way you're raised, the way you think on a very fundamental level can't help but weave itself into the way your brain develops, into the way your brain wires itself on a biological level. So it feels like, in theory, at a certain point, you will start to bump up against the edges of what you're actually capable of in the way of growth or change with regards to that. In my mind, there's a reason why there's not an era-defining genius born every second. I think it's by design. There's a reason why change and innovation is doled out at a trickle instead of like a Niagara Falls type thing. There's a reason why people get old and crotchety and set in their ways. At a certain point, you're going to start to bump against the edges of what your brain is actually capable of. Your brain will become outmoded and kind of a relic to some extent. Now, luckily, we have the next generation to carry on the journeys that we start. God help us. But yeah, that seems to be, that's my theory anyways. Now, with regards to like morality, I don't know if I would ever say that there's like a plateau at which you just can't become a more moral person because you're not capable of it. But I do think even in situations like that, there is perhaps still that expected and acceptable rate of growth, right? Barring some sort of miraculous occurrence, there's still that, like, you don't pick a meth head up off the street one week and expect them to have perfect table manners the next week. Anyways, hopefully that made sense. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please press the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want to.